Well, the Spirit waits with open arms. God's calling out your name. Come on in, welcome home. You are loved and you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in.
Come on in. Come on in. You'll find a place of rest in the arms of Spirit. We've waited so long for your homecoming day.
God knows the peace you need and the hurt you're feeling. Spirit wants to hold you and to wipe your tears away.
Well, the door's unlocked, the lights are on. What are you waiting for?
Come on in, welcome home. You are loved and you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in.
Come on in.
There is room enough in your home of love for someone just like you. Come on in, welcome home. You are loved and you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in, welcome home. You are loved and you belong here now. No matter where you've been, welcome home. Come on, welcome in. Welcome home. Come on, welcome in. You are loved and you belong here. You are loved and you belong here. Come on in. Woo! Aloha. Hey, come on, my. We welcome you to Unity Church of Hawaii. We're so glad that you joined us this morning. I'd like to ask you now to please stand and let your inner light shine. This inner light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This inner light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This inner light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Shine it all over the world. I'm gonna let it shine. Shine it all over the world. I'm gonna let it shine. Shine it all over the world. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. No! I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. No! I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. No! I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. This inner light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This inner light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This inner light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
Yes, indeed. This inner light of ours is shining so bright you got to wear shades. Can't see in here. It's meant to be. Our light is meant to be shown. There is no bushel. There's nothing big enough to cover the big radiant light that is you and me. And they'll see it all over the universe from this place, Unity Church of Hawaii. Hey, komo mai. Welcome to Unity Church of Hawaii, where we are transforming lives and inspiring people to be a positive difference in the world. Unity is a positive, progressive, practical path to spiritual living with 5 foundational truths. Number 1, God is. Matter of fact, that was my credo paper. The first question I had to do for a credo in ministerial school was they said what is the nature of God? So I wrote God is. I was going to go to the next question. My mentor said you need to elaborate. So I said God is all there is. Yes, he was a little bit more forceful in his need for me to elaborate more. But anyways, I did it and finished and what have you. But God is. There's only one presence and one power active in the universe and in our lives, and that's God the good. Thank you. Number 2, I am. Because we are created in the image and likeness of God the good, therefore we are inherently good. And not only are we inherently good, but we're one with God, each other, and all of life. Number 3, think it. Think it. Friends, what we think today will eventually become our life experience. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. So what we think right now will sometime become our experience in the future. So you want to change your life? Change your thinking. Number 4, I'm having a concussion moment. Number 4, prayer and meditation. In Unity, we invite people to have a daily practice of prayer and meditation, for it is in prayer we go in common union with God, in conversation. And then in the silence of meditation, we receive our guidance to do what is ours to do. And the 5th truth, and this one, friends, is the most important. It's live it. Knowing these truths, being able to articulate them in some form of English is not enough. Or in some other languages for that matter as well. But knowing them is not enough. We must step into them and live them, bring them into expression as me and as you. That's what our co-founders did. They inspire us today to live truth as we know it to be. And it is in living truth as we know it to be that we bring heaven to earth, we live the abundant life, and we fulfill and experience our joy of living. Friends, your joy of living is patiently waiting for you. So I think we should practice living truth. I really do, right now in this now moment. You know that love is your pure essence of being. The same love that is you is the same love that is me. So I think we should practice living that love by standing as you are able and having your love meet and greet all the love that is all around you. So please stand as you are able and greet one another in love.
Looking at each other face to face, saying I love yous, giving hugs and high fives. This is the time for us to do something special on this earth. It's time for us to celebrate. There is a light inside of your brother, and I don't know if there's a light that is so bright. I just thought I'd tell you
there is a light inside of his sister,
and I don't know if you know there's a light
that is so
Come on and celebrate.
Celebrate.
Lift your voices and sing.
Celebrate.
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 Let light shine.
Celebrate.
Come on and celebrate.
Celebrate.
There is a light inside of us all, and I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright. I just thought I'd tell you there is a light inside of us all, and I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright, and it's time to celebrate. 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 Love light shine.
Celebrate.
Celebrate your life.
Celebrate.
Celebrate your love.
Celebrate.
Celebrate God's love.
Celebrate.
Come on and celebrate.
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 There is a light inside of us all, and I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright. I just thought I'd tell you there is a light inside of us all, and I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright, and it's time to celebrate.
Woo! What a celebration it is. Welcome, everybody, on this beautiful Independence Day weekend. How was your Independence Day? All right. Okay. Well, it sounds like you had a wonderful weekend and you are drawing to conclusion with your celebration here at Unity Church of Hawaii. So mahalo for joining us. And during that Love Fest, that Handshake Fest, that High Five Fest, you might have seen somebody that you haven't seen before or somebody you haven't seen in a long time. So if this is your first time at Unity Church of Hawaii or your first time in a long time, we invite you to rise, to stand, so we may give you gifts of aloha and appreciation. So, your first time here or first time in a long time, please rise. Our ushers are ushering their way to you with several gifts. The first gift is a kukui nut lei, which represents the light, the love of these Aloha Islands and of this spiritual community. The second gift is a packet, and inside that packet it tells a little bit more about what Unity Church of Hawaii, our principles, the spiritual community itself, as well as a voucher for a free breakfast. So after today's service, you can go down the stairs through Connection Central to the kitchen and receive your free breakfast with that voucher. And our last gift, our final gift for today, is a blessing from our hearts to yours. So, friends, all together, let's give them a blessing. Together, the light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you. The presence of God watches over you. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well. Mahalo for joining us this morning. You may have a seat, and we have others that are joining us from all around the world. So let's give a shaka to our friends that are joining us live right now. They're joining us from Deutschland, from, Australia, from the Netherlands, even from Atlanta, Georgia, Chicago, and Kansas City. Mahalo for joining us today. We feel your love. We feel your presence with us, and we appreciate your continued support to this spiritual community. And today I'm being joined on platform by the beautiful, the glorious, and multi-talented, there you go, rub your head, Reverend Levitt, Reverend Levitt Thomas. And today, giving today's spiritual message is our music director and licensed Unity teacher candidate, Dan Del Negro. Thank you. So we are in for a treat as well. And today is the first Sunday of July. And we would love to celebrate all our July babies. So if your birthday is in the month of July, please rise, please stand so we may sing you a happy birthday song. Go ahead, July babies. All right.
Oh, happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Happy birthday. birthday.
Happy birthday.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Happy birthday. Oh, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Hallelujah.
Woo! All right, July babies, you represent the power of understanding, and the disciple is Thomas. So it is your ability to know. And so I also know that we have some good news, and Reverend Levitt is going to give us the good news. What is it, Reverend Levitt?
Fasten your seatbelts. I sometimes get excited and talk at Mach 10, but I'm going to do my best. Everybody got a bulletin? Boys and girls, kids of all ages, this is your roadmap to all the extraordinary stuff happening here at Unity Church of Hawaii. Please keep it handy and dandy because there'll be a pop quiz. Take a deep breath with me. Here we go. First and very foremost is the, if you didn't notice, the Blood Bank of Hawaii is here on the campus in the parking lot on the blood drive. Friends, it is happening till 1:30 this afternoon. Walk-ins are welcome. Please, if you are so inclined, go give blood. The need for blood in Hawaii is never fulfilled. It is not fulfilled. It's not even close to being fulfilled. It's easy. It's safe. I've been doing it for years. I have blood that goes to babies because it's antibody rich. Apparently eating mud pies was a good thing. But no matter what your blood is, please consider giving blood. And right out here today, it's safe, it's easy, and you get snacks after. Come on, what a deal. And it saves lives. It saves lives. So please consider giving blood today. Compassionate Communication Circle is ongoing. It starts on the 9th of July from 6 to 7 down in the garden room. It is the NVC practice group. This is a group that was started in the work by Gregory Rouillard. NVC is an extraordinarily wonderful thing to have as a tool in on you have conversation. So the Compassionate Communication Circle will be starting July 9th down in the garden room from 6 to 7. And speaking of communication and what have you, on July 4th through the 25th, there'll be 3 study groups. 3. I need clarification from somebody who knows.
So we actually have a total of 5 or 6 study groups, but so they have all filled up minus 3. So we have 3 additional groups or 3 groups that have yet to be filled up. So you may go down at Connection Central after today to sign up for the remaining 3.
Outstanding. And that study group is from the book The Eye of the Storm by Reverend Gary Simmons. He is an authority in conflict management. He has been on the staff of Unity Worldwide Ministries in producing lessons on how to manage conflict and peacekeeping. The Eye of the Storm is an extraordinary book. It will transform your life. It will see you look at yourself differently so that you can see others differently as well. Right in the middle of stuff that's happening, because change is the only thing constant in life, and you're going to be in conflict with others, and if you're not, you're in conflict with yourself. Don't lie to me. You're in church. So we're always in conflict, not always, but we are in conflict on occasion, and how to embrace that conflict so that we can transform and grow and not just ignore it or have it take us. We have conflict that does not have us. So please go down to Connect Central, sign up for one of these study groups. It will transform your life. And speaking of transforming your life, being of sacred service, being a volunteer will bring you great joy. In your bulletin, there are some opportunities to be of sacred service here at Unity Church of Hawaii. So if that is on your heart, if you want to be of service, please check out those opportunities. And if you have something else that you may have a talent in or a gift, please bring that to the office to our volunteer coordinators, Jade Guest and Francine Keona, I think. So talk to them if you have folks. Being of sacred service is really, really cool. So I would invite you to take a breath, if you will, and let's prepare for a time of prayerfulness.
Resound hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from error. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Ancient words ever true, changing me and changing you. We have come with open hearts. Oh, let the ancient words impart. We have come with open hearts. Oh, let the ancient words impart.
Yes, indeed, the ancient words still show us the way, as does the daily word of each day. Daily Word is a publication of Silent Unity. If you'd like to get a copy, they're available down at Connection Central. The daily word for Sunday, July 7th, 2019 is guidance. Our affirmation is divine love and wisdom guide my thoughts, words, and actions. Divine love and wisdom guide my thoughts, words, and actions. Oop. Now we can speak this together. Divine love and wisdom guide my thoughts, words, and actions. Let's do that again. Divine love and wisdom guide my thoughts, words, and actions. The message continues. How empowering it is to know that every attribute of God is seeking expression in my life, as me, even in the most ordinary decisions and events. I am called to become more aware of my divine nature and develop its qualities. I release any limiting thoughts and beliefs and attune my mind and heart to the constant flow of ideas from divine mind. My awareness of an infinite presence becomes deeper and stronger. Gradually, I learn to rely on the divine love and wisdom that are always available to guide my thoughts, words, and actions. As I fully realize the unfailing power of God, I go forward with renewed faith, vision, and purpose. Today's Bible verse is from Psalms 23, 2-3. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in right paths for his name's sake. Divine love and wisdom guide my thoughts, words, and actions. The reading is finished. Now I invite you now to settle in for a time of meditation by getting comfortable in your seat, in your chair, and putting aside any physical items you might have brought with you. And also, I'm going to invite you to put aside any concerns you may have for this day. Put them to the side as well. And let's breathe. For it is the breath that takes us home. Home to where we, God, and love are one. And home is always a breath away. We are here for a divine purpose. The master teacher, Jesus, said that he had done some pretty neat stuff. However, we would do greater things. We would do greater things. This is our divine and holy purpose. It is our promise of purpose. We may not in this now moment know what those things are. But when we go into the silence of meditation and sit still, we receive our guidance to do what is ours to do so that we can be who we've come here to be. That is doing the greater things. So now, if you will, thinking of those greater things, let us rest now for a few moments in the silence. And now with a gentle breath, let us return our attention back to this time and place, overflowing with appreciation, knowing that we are guided to do what is ours to do. And in doing that, we live the abundant life. We are grateful, we are joyful, and give thanks. And so it is. Amen.
A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Mindfulness, it keeps on giving. Mindfulness, joyful living. Mindfulness, we learn to release. Mindfulness can even bring world peace. Life's not so bad, but there could be so much more joy, living more fully. Sometimes we get lost in thought. Seems like we miss so much joy, so much beauty. Even difficult times are a part of life. If we can just be here, we'll be more alive. Mindfulness keeps on giving. Mindfulness, joyful living. Mindfulness, we learn to release. Mindfulness can even bring world peace. Sometimes difficult feelings come. That's okay, but they just won't go away. Sometimes we just hold on, and they just stay. Feelings like I can't really do it. When will I get it together? I'm not good enough. Or feelings about somebody else. What's wrong with them? Putting everyone in a box. He's like that, she's like this. That's the way they are. Lost in concepts, we don't really see what's in front of us. How can we see? How can we let go? Mindfulness keeps on giving. Mindfulness, joyful living. Mindfulness, we learn to release. Mindfulness can even bring world peace. How about those big questions? Who am I? What life is all about? Why are we here? Without the answers, we feel lost and confused, even full of fear. I sat down and tried to figure it out. The more I thought, the more confused I got. Just like when we have a technical problem, when we took a break, the answers popped up right in front of me. Because it's mindfulness, keeps on giving. Mindfulness, joyful living. Mindfulness, we learn to release. Mindfulness can even bring world peace. About this world peace, there's so much conflict at home ideas. Holding on to mine, you're holding on to yours. Ignoring that things are always changing. How about we just let go? Let go and be here right now. I see you and you see me the way we are, and we can talk what's on our mind right now. We can open up, multiply this between 7 billion people, and that could bring world peace. Mindfulness keeps on giving. Mindfulness, joyful living. Mindfulness, we learn to release. Mindfulness can even bring world peace. So let's try it. Go ahead. Right now, come back and let go of anything we're holding on to. Try it. Mindfulness, it keeps on giving. Mindfulness, joyful living. Mindfulness, we learn to release. Mindfulness can even bring world peace. Can even bring world peace. Here's what we're talking about. We're talking about joyful living, full on giving, getting along with ourselves and each other. Bring world peace. Oh, be it here right now and let it go. Mindfulness, full on living. Mindfulness, more joyful living. Mindfulness, mindfulness, practicing mindfulness, practicing mindfulness, mindfulness. All right. Thank you, mahalo. The Unity House Band, Kevin Hirasa on guitar, Ian Sheridan on the bass, and our first timer right here, Wendell Ching on the drums. Look out now. Thank you. Woo! Well, this seems to be working good. All right. We're continuing on with our voyage to the 7 seas. This is our last one, and our ports of call are communication and clarity. And I think they really go together well. When we're talking about communication, we're also including communication when it's difficult, when there's hard issues we're dealing with, or there's big emotions going on with it. And in terms of clarity, that includes honesty, authenticity, and what I really like is authenticity. Yeah. So mindfulness plays into this because when we're mindful, when we're aware of what's going on, we're in the moment, and we're also aware of the thoughts and the feelings that come up. After a while, we begin to perceive our authentic self. We often call it in Unity the Christ consciousness, or the spark of divinity within. In Buddhism, they call it the Buddha nature. It's something that's common in many traditions. And it actually boils down to wisdom and compassion. And when we begin to experience that and feel it, and it starts to take over, our communication improves radically because that wisdom and compassion inform how we're acting with the other person. And after a while, we also begin to see the authentic self in the other person. We see their wisdom and compassion. And even if there's a difficult issue, even if the other person's acting out and angry, we can see through that. We can see that their true nature is love, is wisdom, is compassion. And our communication gets so much better, so much more constructive, so much more clear. Now, mindfulness is defined, for one, by John Kabat-Zinn, the founder of mindfulness-based stress reduction therapy, as paying attention deliberately in the moment without judgment. So that means no matter what's going on in our mind, we come back to whatever we're doing
or the conversation we're having. And we avoid judging. Like, we don't say, this moment is good, this moment is bad, I like this, I don't like that. And we're fully there. It allows us to be purely there in the moment. Now, this isn't some kind of commandment like we're trying to avoid judging. It means like I can't have any judgments anymore. And the same thing with the mind that continues to wander on, and any thoughts that we have, even negative thoughts. We don't squash them or try to get rid of them or ignore them. That's often been termed in New Thought recently as a spiritual bypass. So we don't want to do that. We let those things come in. We're aware of them. The judgments, the negative thoughts, all that stuff. But then the difference is we let it go and come back to the next moment. So that's a little definition of mindfulness. And we can practice that throughout the day, no matter what we're doing, all day long, which is a wonderful way of making it an all-day practice. And that also implies that mindfulness is a way of life. So what would it look like if we lived a whole day in mindfulness? So we wake up in the morning. We're aware of our mind coming out of dreamland and coming back to wherever we are. We're aware of our body. So we feel the muscles start coming back to life. We feel those sensations, the awareness of being in the mattress or wherever we are. We go on to go to the bathroom. We do that mindfully. We get cleaned up a little bit. We're aware of the sensations of getting cleaned up and the feelings we have. We go downstairs and make breakfast. So we're aware of the sensation of chopping the food, of the heat from the pan, of stirring things around, putting it on the plate, etc. And then as we eat breakfast, we're aware of eating. We're aware of the smell of the food, the action of putting it in our mouths, the taste, the sensation of it going down our throats into our stomachs, and the feeling of the nutrients going into our bloodstream. So we feel that awakening, that energizing that comes from eating. And then we drive off to work. We can drive mindfully. Instead of thinking about what's going on in the day, we can actually be aware of the sensations and emotions of driving the car and of doing what we need to do to get there safely, like changing lanes at the right time. We get to work. Maybe we have to deal with a document we have to fill out or something like that, and that's when our judging mind starts to come in. I don't feel like doing this. I'd rather do something more creative than filling out a doc. So we're aware of that, we let it go, and we come back to the doc. And maybe that openness and awareness, we get different ideas how to do it better, maybe more efficiently. And then maybe we have a meeting with some of our colleagues. So any preconceived notions we have, we're aware of, and we let those go too. Like the song was saying, concepts about how they are, how I am. And that's an important thing with communication. If we let go, first we're aware, but then we let go of our concepts of other people. They're like this. Oh, that's her. Yeah, she's like that. If we can let those go, then we see with fresh eyes. We can see people like for the first time. That greatly improves our communication because we're more open to them and to where we're coming from too. As you know, I'm a musician, so it's pretty creative. Of course, I love it, but there's a lot of gigs where I play the same stuff all the time. Like I do Japanese weddings, and the music for the ceremonies itself are set. They're the same songs every time, and I've probably done thousands of them by now. So it's real easy to get lost in thought because you can go on autopilot, But I found trying to practice mindfulness lately, even though it's something I've played so many times, when I let go of that thinking mind and I come back to just that moment of playing, different ways of playing this stuff come, like different ways of voicing the chords, different ways of playing the melody, and it feels like the first time. And it helps me to feel the music so much more, and I can tell that the audience feels it more because I'm feeling it more. So then we drive home mindfully. Maybe we do a workout. Now, workouts can be very repetitive too. If you're jogging or running, it's left, right, left, right. If you're lifting weights, even if you have a variety of moves you're doing, when you're at the one particular move, like you're doing this over and over again. I like to practice with a rowing machine sometimes, so that's really repetitive because all you're doing is over and over again for like half hour, 45 minutes. But I also found that when I tried to do that mindfully, I discovered there's a lot of form elements in that exercise. So not only are you extending, but you're bending over, and when you come back, you're arching your back. So it makes the stroke longer, so it's more efficient, and you burn more calories. But also, whether I'm doing the rowing machine or the weights, when I'm really aware, when I'm really into it, the workout becomes more powerful. Like the rowing machine, when I go back, I realize my abs are being worked out there. And with the weights, you can feel the action of it and really get into it. So then we eat dinner mindfully again. And maybe we have a discussion, maybe we have a significant other, we have a discussion with them at that point. So, again, we might be aware that we have this preconceived notion of them, especially if it's somebody that we've been with for a long time. And maybe we have a preconceived notion of how we're supposed to be in the relationship. But with mindfulness, we see that more clearly, and we can let go of it and just come to the moment where we're discussing with each other. And we can see with new eyes. And even if it's somebody we've been with for decades, we can see them like for the first time again. And we can learn things about them that we had no idea that was true about them. Discovery, that openness. It's beautiful. Now, besides this everyday mindfulness throughout the day, we can supercharge our ability to be aware and to let go and to come back by formal practice. So what we do is we're away from action. We just sit there and we let ourselves be aware of whatever comes up. Sounds, feelings in our body, thoughts, emotions. And that mind that wants to chatter on all day comes up inevitably. But we don't judge ourselves over it. We just come back. I invite you to join me in a little period of this formal practice right now. Stretch out a little bit. Sit upright but comfortably. Close your eyes if you like to do it that way, or just soft focus straight ahead like this. Just be aware of our natural breathing for a couple of breaths. If you like, you can continue to be aware of your breathing as an anchor in between the other awarenesses. Or else just be aware. So let's just be aware of whatever comes into our awareness. You might hear the fan, might hear a sound. Feel a sensation in your body. A thought might come, be aware of it. An emotion. Whatever comes up. If your mind, like mine often does, continues to go into tangents, goes on a trip to the past and the future, that's okay. Once you're aware of it, come back to the next moment. I invite you to open your eyes and return to this room. That's a very valuable practice. I encourage you to do it, maybe regularly, like 20 to 30 minutes a day, or when there's a convenient time, like when you're going to sleep, or when you have a break at work, or even short mini practices, like when you're at a traffic light or stuck in traffic, or waiting in line. And when we're aware, especially when we're aware of our thoughts and emotions, we see them more clearly. We don't latch onto them, we don't get hung up by them or run by them, but we see them more clearly, and then we let them go. And that process, that simple process, can really help us get to know ourselves better, see where our thoughts are coming from. And they can be the most horrible thoughts. I know if I'm like really tired or sick or something, I can have very negative thoughts. And in New Thought, we're tempted to always want to be positive. And it's like, why am I having these thoughts? I shouldn't have these thoughts. I'm a terrible person. I got to squash them and get rid of them. But this practice is just allowing everything. We have what we may consider a horrible thought. We don't go with it, of course. We don't take action on it. We're just aware of it, and then we watch it go away. And in that learning about ourselves, that's when gradually our authentic self comes to the surface. It's not something we attain. It's not something we work on. It's always there. It's our true nature. And the idea of practice is to allow it to come out. And as that happens more and more, when we get into communication, we see that in the other person. And again, that wisdom and compassion guides us in our communication. Another thing is planning and making decisions. Now, sometimes it sounds like mindfulness means you're trying not to think at all. You're not paying attention to your thoughts. So how do we do that? Plan or make decisions? Well, one thing is, when we have a decision to make, for example, we don't consciously start thinking about it all through the day while we're driving, making breakfast, working out, all that things. We do allow the thoughts to come, and sometime a thought will just pop up that'll give us a real insight of what we're trying to decide about. And the other side of it is, we can spend a dedicated time to decision-making or planning. And similar to our formal practice, like sit down and be aware, and just allow that decision to pop in from time to time. But another difference is, we don't spend a lot of time super micro-analyzing that stuff. We allow this true self, this innate wisdom and compassion guide our decisions. Now in Unity, we have a wonderful example of that. Charles Fillmore, who along with Myrtle Fillmore is the co-founder of Unity, used to go into meditation for hours at a time, which as we experienced before, in Unity is often called the silence. And he would use that process to come to decisions and make plans. Now, Charles Fillmore also had another word for it, another term for it, which was going to headquarters. I'm sure some of you heard that before. So, somebody would say, Charles, did you come to a decision about that thing? And he would say, no, I got to go to headquarters. So that's the way of looking at it too. Go to headquarters. Allow that higher self to guide the decision-making process. So I encourage you to do that formal practice and to do this every day, day-long mindfulness practice. And in communication, let go of your concepts of self and other. Allow those thoughts to come, then let them go. And allow that divine self, that authentic self, to guide your conversation and to see what the other person is talking about. And that way, our communication will be greatly increased. And if that mind that's constantly wondering tries to come on in, as soon as you realize it, just come back. Thank you. And Zamar, ladies and gentlemen, at the piano bar. Let's see. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Crisis. Be here now. For your mind's sleeping like a monkey,
Just come back.
stop thinking when life is bumpy.
Just come back.
And let go when the feeling's funky.
Just come back.
Don't let it make you grumpy. If you get lost in thought, it's alright. Stuck in the past and think about tomorrow night. Come back again and again, you see. Oh, you be living joyous and free. If you wanna know what the truth is,
Be here now.
oh yeah, for full-on life experiences.
Be here now.
To be free of emotional crisis.
Be here now.
For living really joyous.
Be here now.
Just come back.
Be here now.
Gotta come right back.
Be here now.
Keep on coming back.
Be here now.
Gotta come on back.
Just come back.
Zamar, ladies and gentlemen. Woo. Look out. He's coming.
As many as you know that my lovely wife Diana does all of that over there, I am a mere apprentice. She has small feet, but she has big shoes to fill. And speaking of big shoes to fill, this is the joy-filled time of the service. This is the time when we get to launch the law of circulation. We get, because it is in giving that we receive. This ministry has a mission to transform lives and to inspire people to be a positive difference in the world. And for us to do that, for we to do that, we rely on the generous giving of the community. And we give thanks in advance for your continued generous giving so we may fulfill the purpose of this ministry. So please take your love offering, place it to your heart, your tithe, what have you, and let's say a blessing. Please repeat after me. Divine love as me.
Divine love as me.
Blesses and multiplies.
Blesses and multiplies.
All the good I am and have.
All the good I am and have.
And all the good I give and receive.
All the good I give and receive.
Thank you, God.
Thank you, God.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here. You can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that can go to space. In the air like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm clap along if you feel like a room without a room.
Because I'm happy.
Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth.
Because I'm happy.
Clap along if you know what happiness is to you.
Because I'm happy.
Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here comes bad news, talking this and that. Well, give me all you got and don't hold back. I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste my time. Here's why.
Because I'm happy.
Clap along if you feel like a room without a room.
Because I'm happy.
Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth.
Because I'm happy.
Clap along if you know what happiness is to you.
Because I'm happy.
Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
Happy.
Bring me down, can't nothing.
Happy.
Bring me down, my love is too high.
Happy.
Bring me down, can't nothing.
Happy.
Bring me down, I said. Bring me down, can't love is too high. Bring me down, and nothing. Bring me down. I said because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof.
Because I'm happy.
Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth.
Because I'm happy.
Clap along if you know what happiness is to you.
Because I'm happy.
Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Happy!
Thank you, Zamar and the band. Ooh, what a happy day. All right, and as the ushers come back to the front, and a joyous celebration we have had, and we give thanks for these offerings, these gifts to this community, knowing that each one of us gives freely in gratitude, that we can't outgive God. And so what we do is allow God to give through us in that measure that fulfills the needs of this community and our lives. And so we give thanks by saying, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God. And so it is, it can be no other way. Amen. All right, everyone. And I just want to remind you about the blood drive that is happening right now outside in the parking lot. The gift of life. Let's give that as well. And so knowing that our gift of life goes on to prosper not only our lives by sharing it, but the lives of others that receive it. So after service, please head on down to see the blood bank individuals and see if you're eligible to donate. And if you head down onto the kitchen, before you go there, remember to stop by and see which book study day. We have Monday, we have a Tuesday online, and a Friday that are still available to be filled. You may pick up your books for those that have already signed up. They're for $15 in Connection Central as well. They're on sale right now. And everyone else, I say thank you so much for being part of this service. Your presence has made all the difference. Thank you, Danny, for that beautiful message. Danny D, always giving the good message with the good music. And everyone else, all of our volunteers and staff that make each Sunday service a true celebration. And now I invite up the chaplains that are here. And our chaplains are here to hold the high watch with you. So if you have a prayer that's on your heart, see our chaplains after today's service so they may pray with you as well. And now let us all rise, let us all stand, grab a friendly hand, and sing the peace song and Aloha Oi.